board men Sambra Paramasan do share eyewitness GH media so na said ye ne dano and then so for frato form here person no chewo eyewitness GH media so na ensembe ne eboboba na the art of form here person no eche nti wo dey so be subscribe to eyewitness GH media na ye no wache na eni asemwa ifri ye omein brashebe fie ye Parliament of Ghana and ye de money way na sembe eni free hono eba ni nyina no ensensamo asisi ababe ye sokodua asisi abakwe kwiti se bisepani kuni na han ye tase no banzan sanim na asemu we de epantoma na enche na asemu nyina mo beka ya Ghana mrafufro ye mra shibija fomu penifo peso wo hye na wo hwese de be ya ye de bisia no ewo trumuntu ene wo ba na mu nkita hodie na no ene mra shibija fomu penifo hye sa mre ya ene wabo chiredi akwakodan wo mampani eso mampani de ne nsa ebehye sa emra no ahye na kyerese emra no edimu na ahyase ya adwuma ho asotwe ene nsempi no ano na ansana mra shibija fomu mpanifo be je sa mra na se wo be pass sa bill no na ehun sabne de na ye buburuja wo my Ghana mu na kyerese enyansem keto akra na dodo no akire wadwene se asotwe a ekobasa bia obi a wo promote ana obi a ode ne ho hye sa wo ba no ba enne mu kitamudie be ma ne be ma yitrumuntu ho nsensem no na pinu ano kire wadwene no aka ho mabra mrashibja fo mu mpanimfo ede mrei de koto ye omen ye mampanyine ani mu se be ya wo be sign anase wo be jemra no watumu no wade ne sa ahyase ne mra na sa aye adwuma no enno ene ni nipa bi de sa mrei ho asam de akokotwa ako Supreme Court amasi say no mampani kire se gisse Supreme Court the verdict efasa asem no ho ne eba bonten ansana so betimi ede ne sa ahye sa mra no ase a wode ne sa ahye mra no ase na enra yenka bi nhye mu asem yi ka ho bi ama enra da ye Speaker of Parliament ye Honorable Aban Sumani Baben ono so ade ensembi dia mane wo mampani am ababe reply wo mampani ni nyina no ene say wo mampani enam ye ne press secretary ye Yura Santi Bediako Bediatu eso ama wo de krata bi dia komra hye be fie a wo signal mra hye dia fo mampani fo say nya dia sa mra no mampani bitimi ede ne sa hya se kopem bra ye Supreme Court bitimi ede dia e wo mu ni nyina na de ababonte ansana so mampani bitimi de ne sa ahye sa mra na sia wo de ne sa ahyase ne no na enrada bra Speaker of Parliament Honorable Aban Sumani enrada wono so ato mampani enkra ya wa reply o mampani wo sakrata free ne press secretary Yura Asante Bediatu ho no aba na Yura Asante Bediatu nsem ne mu no na aka ho ama Speaker of Parliament Honorable Aban Baben and so atu bi dia mane o mampani se sa na asabretie dia ne o mampani wo so wadaroma die tie ne obi enso de mrashebedwa ye main speaker akọ court Supreme Court say wasoafo a ne wodu omudin dia ba ya veti wo mo no speaker nso entwentwen so say ye ji wo mu etumu a enye yi nti say wono so abọchiri de akọ Supreme Court ne no ene speaker say ene yes sa na asabeti e dia ene pamno twa no wono so mpasem nti wono so tena horo mo kopim bra Supreme Court also ede ne verdict be babonten ma ye hunu ne ye wosa asebno mo ansana so mo so betimi ajo mampani ne resafo ye wo ye ya wo appointing new ministers no obeje o matumu a wajo mo atumu we na akwakoye asemse ba enrada asemu a ipie wo mraje beje fie eno na yenkotie Honorable Aban Sumani Kingsford Baben enrabra or reply o mampani.
Several critical points emerge that underscore the importance of adhering to constitutional and legal frameworks within our democratic governance. Firstly, the President's refusal to accept the transmission of the bill is, by all accounts, not supported by the constitutional and statutory provisions that guide our legislative process. The Constitution clearly delineates the steps to be followed once a bill has been passed by Parliament mandating the transmission of the bill to the President for assent or rejection. Therefore, the refusal to even accept the bill for consideration falls outside the legal bounds established by our constitutional framework. It is incumbent upon the President to accept the bill and take the necessary action within the prescribed constitutional limits, whether that action is assent, refusal, or referral to the Council of State for advice or Parliament for reconsideration. It is instructive to note that the Executive has in the past proceeded with these actions, although there has been pending before the court injunction applications against the state. Secondly, there must be a steadfast rejection of any attempts to unduly fetter or hinder the work of Parliament. The Parliament of Ghana operates as a crucial part of our democracy, embodying the will and voice of the people. Parliament embodies the sovereign will and power of the people. Parliament embodies the might and majesty of the people. And as I keep on saying, the power of the people is stronger than the people in power. Any efforts to obstruct its work, Parliament's work, disrespects this fundamental institution and threatens the principles of governance by consent and representation. Thirdly, it is imperative to remain vigilant against certain dangerous precedents that could potentially undermine the foundation of our democracy. The rejection of a bill's transmission without constitutional basis introduces a precarious deviation from established democratic practices and norms. Such actions, if left unchallenged, may embolden future attempts to circumvent the legislative process, thereby weakening the integrity and efficacy of our democratic institutions. Lastly, in alignment with our constitutional mandates and the principles of good governance, it is essential for the President to adhere to the lawful course of action by accepting the transmission of the bill. Upon receipt, the President has the constitutionally provided options as to what to do. I don't want to repeat it here. As we move forward, it is the collective responsibility of all branches of government and indeed all citizens to uphold the Constitution and ensure that our democratic processes are not only preserved but strengthened. The current impasse presents an opportunity for reflection and reaffirmation of our commitment to the principle of democracy, rule of law, and the unequivocal respect for the legislative process that forms the bedrock of our nation's governance. Honorable members, the Parliament of Ghana will comply with with the existing legal frameworks and reject the attempts by the Executive Secretary of the President through his contemptuous letter to instruct the Clerk to Parliament, an officer of Parliament whose position is recognizably under the Constitution. We shall not cease and desist. Be that as it may, honorable members, I also bring to your attention the receipt of a process from the courts titled Robson. Honorable member, I'm watching you. And I hear what you say. Be that as it may, honorable members, I also bring to your attention the receipt of a process from the courts titled Robson Nelson Eche K. Dafiamapo versus the Speaker of Parliament and the Attorney General, suit number J1/12/2024, which process was served on the 19th, that is yesterday, March 2024, and an injunction motion on notice seeking to restrain the Speaker from proceeding with the vetting and approval of the names of the persons submitted by His Excellency the President until the provisions of the Constitution are satisfied. Honorable members, in the light of this process, the House is unable to continue to consider the nominations of His Excellency the President, to use the language of the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, quote, in the spirit of upholding the rule of law, unquote, until after the determination of the application for interlocutory injunction by the Supreme Court. Honorable members, this is the precedent that is being set by His Excellency the President for all Ghanaians to follow. So any matter that comes before Parliament, any Ghanaian can issue a writ and follow it with an application for injunction, and that is enough to injunct Parliament from proceeding with the consideration of the business in the House. Honorable members, I thank you all for your attention, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Yeah, wamba no ni asabuno nti sisi die we manso we nya manso ketu akra o mampani kire so de nsahye krata na se enyeyi kopembra Supreme Court ebetimi eruli na yehunu die wo mu ansa na so de nsabehye mbra na se wode ahyase sanso na Speaker of Parliament so semra chwe form so entimi enye o mampani ni new ministers awa appoint wo no entum kopembra asafofra obi nso de akwakodan eye Supreme Court as Speaker of Parliament ene Emrashibe Dwano enso no eni ho kwan so mo be so betimi agye saa o mampani aso afo no atomo no so ho asem wo Supreme Court wa ni nyina no e ho asem epie e wo video no mo so mfo na nekusi obodo mensa brampa na beso mo wo Eyewitness GH Media Mr. Wabomoden so be subscribe to Eyewitness GH Media na so be ka busia no gisa anto form ye se de ni ehunu na ye de ho adanse wot ni nyina no yo in social media platform ni nyina so no okoswa odofo edin no ye one ye Eyewitness GH Media anana nekusi media as well as nanakusi TV ni nyina no okoho no mo a wo dia ne say adoma bi wo enche ho no mo a wo be click so a e be notice file ama wo hunu anytime bi a ye video e wa betu ho no mo bia no wo be hunu